Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour. We got a special treat for y'all today. Telling you we've been having a great month this month. People are being able to break their silence about domestic violence. After today, we'll have one more. And guess what? This time it's not going to be a female. It's going to be a male that's experienced domestic violence. Mr. Michael Gray will be on the broadcast next Thursday in order to share his story and breaking his silence as well. As y'all know, we got the baby diaper and baby bottle donation drive still going on. It ends on the 29th. So if you still want to donate, contact me in the inbox on Spicy Gray, or you can email me at theunspokenheart70@aol.com. If you don't want to deliver the items or you're not able to get out, you're more than welcome to Cash App or PayPal. The information is going scrolling by. Just check it out and we'll be able to get that done for you. As update to let y'all know, I do really thank y'all for opening your heart for the babies in the battered women and children shelter. We are actually 2 boxes full. So, it's overflowing, and that there is just the Pampers and the bottles. But we got a separate box. It's Pampers and baby wipes. We got a separate box for the bottles and the bottle brush cleansers. That is actually filling up. I thank God for y'all. Thank y'all for opening your heart. It has truly been a blessing. And if you still want to donate, please go ahead and get your donations in. It will end on the 29th. So get yours in and then open your arms as we stand our ground to break not just the change, but the silence and also the cycle of abuse. As y'all know, this is Domestic Violence Month. And like I said, we got somebody coming in the broadcast in order to share her story, breaking her silence for the first time. Now we're going to go ahead and get started. Just as a reminder, we also going to be going into November, which is Thanksgiving. So if the sponsors are looking on, please contact me pertaining to the items that you're going to be donating for the raffle for Thanksgiving Day. Thank you so much. Sunday, October 18th, 2020, around 5:34 p.m. on 1700 block of Oates Drive in Mesquite, Texas. A young 28-year-old woman, Mrs. Marquita McCleary, was shot 10 times by her husband, Ashton Neros, also 28 of age, right in front of their 3 young children, innocent eyes. Apparently, Mrs. Marquita discovered that her husband was involved in an adulterous affair and wanted to legally exit the marriage with Ashton Neros. Presumably, Ashton became enraged by this, and before shooting his wife turned to Facebook and posted, "Never got closure, but I'll walk a winner regardless." Ashton Neros was quite popular on social media and appeared to followers as the perfect dad, while in pictures displaying the happy family with matching outfits and smiles. On October 14, Ashton Neros posted, "Everybody dropping like mixtapes." Let's look at this picture. His children are left behind after their mother was pronounced dead at the hospital. He has a $100,000 bond and charged with one account of first-degree murder and facing other charges as well. As domestic violence survivor, I pray the record you possess is a lifetime of hard hits. Mrs. Marquita was the CEO and founder of Everything That Glitters Hair and Eyelash Extensions Distribution. Rest in peace, love.
Mom. Mom. Oh my gosh. Mom. Somebody help me, please. Please, somebody call 911.
911, what's your emergency?
Please, help. There's someone. Blood is everywhere.
Ma'am, please remain calm. Help is on the way.
Stretch with dried waterfalls lying down my bare face. Silver metal content laid upon as a temporary place. Attempting to retract how I landed a cold room. Visions in head are blurry with outlines of gloom. Surrounding echo voices speaking from medical terms of technology. I did not go to college, but one appeared a degree of biology. White covering shield, blocking optical sight. All is not dark, for there's a faded gleaming light. Footsteps onto pavement as temperature never begin to change. I can't feel a heartbeat, for no emotion is arranged. A hand nose to head, removing cloth of protection. In glass above, mounted one flat mirrored reflection. Eyes positioned towards the ceiling without a minute's blink. Now being motionless, I won't even have to think. The face is unrecognizable for any human being to see. I'm lying lifeless because he took all his anger out on me.
I'm sorry.
What are you trying to say?
We did all we can do.
What do you mean?
We did all we can do. She didn't make it.
That CD is actually from one of my tracks on the Unspoken Heart, available on all platforms. That is called Blackout. So we're going to get ready to bring in our next guest. Well, our only guest that's here today. I'm so sorry. I want to thank y'all for tuning in today. So as I said before, we are now going to bring in a lovely lady who decided to choose me in order to break her silence for the first time in the Domestic Violence Month awareness. Thank you, Ariel Tall, for tuning in. Nikita McClure, thank you for tuning in as well. Aja Hemphill, thank y'all so much. Please share, do a watch party. And if you have any questions or want to make a comment, please go ahead and call in. Our lines are now open. That number is 512-668-2814. Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, residing in San Antonio, Texas. She's an electrifying performer, singer, writer, owner, and founder of Devotion Custom Tees. Obtained her degree in sociology. Graduated as a Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. Published author of Healing Souls, Turning Pain into Purpose. In fine blueprint, she's formatted her joy in life by striving towards healing broken hearts and souls through the outspoken rhythmic roar, which echoes out in love. Without further ado, I introduce to y'all Mrs. Symbolic Soul. Hello, hello,
Hi.
hello.
How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
That's awesome.
Hey, hey, hey. I woke up feeling fly today. Got dressed in the mirror and I had to say, girl, you look good today. Don't care how you feeling, 'cause I was born this way.
Can I have your attention for a minute? Can I use my words to mesmerize your thoughts? And although some people may feel like this is egotistical, can I just explain to you how you're bold and heroic? In case you didn't know it, I just thought I would let you know it. Honey, you're beautiful. You're like a ray of sunshine on any given day. And your award-winning smile and style has the ability to make darkness fade away. You're the bravest person I ever laid eyes on. So go on with your bad self. I commend you for shuffling and dealing with the cards that you were dealt. Even with a half a deck, you handled it so well, you managed to surprise your own self. Give yourself a round of applause and a standing ovation. You deserve this plus more for the way you dominate and how you rise to every occasion. I just want to say congratulations, you were the underdog, yet you still became a master in elevation. Determination should be your middle name. I just love the way you sustain and how you don't let that negative chatter occupy space in your brain. It's plain to see that you are a remarkable and very unique human being. Who wouldn't? I mean, who couldn't love somebody like me?
Woke up and I'm feeling okay. Woke up and I'm feeling okay. Woke up and I'm feeling okay. Woke up and I'm feeling okay.
They say beauty is skin deep, but yet the world judge you by a beat and whether you're petite. I say through all this defeat, I will still love you unconditionally. I'm not worried what others say about me. I'm a child of God and I'm free to be who He called me to be. Boldly I walk with His light shining through me. When I step out the door, I pray that all my enemies will bow down before me.
I'm feeling okay. Woke up and I'm feeling okay. Woke up, we woke up feeling fly today. Got dressed in the mirror and we had to say, oh, we look good today. Don't care how you feel, 'cause we were born this way. We woke up feeling fly.
We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly. We fly, that's right, we fly.
I love it, love it, love it. Believe it or not, I have listened to that like 4 or 5 times. I mean, I love the beat for one, but the words just fit just perfectly. Thank you, thank you. Nikita McClure said, "That's my song."
Thank
I
you, Nikita.
I love it. You know, before we move forward, pertaining to this piece, you entered into the broadcast with, which is this one here, Fly. Can you share with us on what inspires you to do such a great piece as this?
Well, I wrote several different pieces. So I wanted to write something about love and loving yourself. So, I was just like, you know what? I love myself. When I look in the mirror, I want to be happy at what I look at. So I wrote about it.
Wow. I tell you, I was in the bed yesterday and I had to listen to it over. Even my grandbaby was up there just dancing her little tune. And we was like, yep, we fly.
Yeah, we fly.
But that gives a person a lot. I mean, I love it. You know, because it gives a person a lot of confidence within themselves. And I mean, that's what I fell in love with. I mean, not just the words, but it just make you feel it all the way through. And what message were you intending to get across to your listeners by writing this?
Oh, it's all about self love. That's what it's about. Straight up, just like loving yourself above everything else. Don't
Mhm.
forget. Look in the mirror. Wake up in the morning. Look in that mirror and tell yourself, "I'm fly." That's right. I'm fly.
If nobody else tell you, you tell yourself. That's right.
Right.
What
Encourage
do you expect?
yourself.
Yes. What do you expect or hope your listeners will get out of their track on Fly when hearing the flow?
Hey, don't believe the negative labels that somebody else placed on you. Like I said, wake up in the morning, be grateful for those 24 hours that you woke up for, and be grateful that you made, God's wake up call list. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you fly. And it don't matter what everybody else feel or think about you. Only thing you need to do is see yourself in God's eyes.
Amen. 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 Now, I know it's been extremely difficult for you to come forward and share your story, which you're about to do today. What has placed you in position to want to break your silence now?
Oh wow. So basically, there's a journey that I have been going on, and ever since I found God, I was just like, I know, what I need to do. I mean, it's hard, don't get me wrong, because fear stops you from doing, you fearful basically. It's like fear stops a lot of people from doing a lot of things. But once I found God, God told me, hey, you need to step out on your fear. Don't let that hold you back anymore. So, once I found my voice, there's no silence in me. So, and it's the last step that I have to actually, get through. And so basically I wrote it, touched on it a little bit in my book, but I'm just like, now I just want people to be able to heal. And the purpose of me telling my story is, I don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of what happened to you. It wasn't your fault.
Exactly. Exactly. Love it. Love it. Yeah, and that's the main thing. Like I tell a lot of people, especially when I go speak, is that people don't understand. Because I mean, even at work, I had an ex supervisor. He was young, but he was very arrogant, and they don't understand a lot of things when it comes down to abuse. And the master key is fear, because fear controls a lot of things in your body, your mind, and your emotions. So, once you can overcome that fear, then you'll be able to move forward. So that was a great, great, great insight right there. Everyone responds to the traumatic events in their life differently than others who had endured abuse of any form. Was there any time of your life that you had blamed yourself?
Yes, definitely. Um, like that was a lot of times that I blamed myself. I felt like, that I wasn't enough. I was worthless. My self-worth, all the insecurities and everything. I just blamed myself. And that was, like I say, ever since I was a kid, people
Mhm,
place these labels on me. And then,
mhm,
when you don't know no better, you start thinking of yourself as those labels. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like I said, once I found God, and that's where the Fly song come from too, because I'm not being held back by those labels that people call me anymore, or how
mhm.
people see me. I can step out there and be me and be who God chose me to be, because I don't worry about those labels anymore.
Great,
So
great. Yeah, and coming up, in school, kids can be so cruel, and not knowing and realizing how it traumatizes a person's life. Now, in the past week, we have touched on the physical and the mental abuse with Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, Ms. Lovely Vibes, and Mrs. Rosalie Davis. But you're here today to discuss the subject of sexual abuse. Can you share with us about the sexual abuse that Isha, or is it Aisha?
You can call me Isha. My friends call me Isha. I consider you a friend, so call me Isha.
Okay, Isha endured before you transformed into symbolic soul.
So when I was a kid, I don't know like what age. I can't really, because I guess as time go on, you try to block out certain things that happen, so it doesn't affect you, because when as you get older, you go through things in life and you try to block it out because you I mean, I guess you're trying to figure out like why is this happening or whatever.
Right.
And you want to blame somebody because you don't want to blame yourself, and it's just like you have to at a certain point you have to figure out how to address it.
Right.
And once you block it out, it is going to keep coming back until you really address it and learn to heal from it. And you got to tell the truth about it in order for you to heal, to start the healing process. So basically, when I was younger, I came from a home where I don't feel like there was much love. I
Right.
wasn't taught love. I wasn't told that I love you. I don't feel like I was loved at all. So what I would always do is try to run from my reality and go to like a fantasy basically. And
Mm-hmm.
so I used to always go to my auntie house, which was that was my escape. And then I had my cousin. I used to go over there, and then from there me and him used to go to his it was his stepdad brother's house, right? Well,
Okay.
I don't know, but I just remember the house being like very, very dark, right? And so, like I said, when I escaped from something that probably had more to something that did have less,
Mm-hmm.
but just for my peace and my sanity, I did that because it was still like just being around my cousin. I felt love, I felt that we had each other back, so I felt like there was love there. He loved me and I loved him, and that was
Right.
like the only, that's what I felt. So then, like I say, but I had no money or nothing when I would go over there, and we barely had anything to eat. So when went to this he was my cousin uncle, I guess. And well, so I asked for money, and he says, well, yeah, I can give you money, you can meet me in the bathroom, and I'm like, okay. So I didn't know what to do, you know what I'm saying? um when I found out what prostitution was, later on as I grew, I felt really ashamed. Like I said, that's when I blamed myself because I felt like I was a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know no better. And, for the first time, I'm saying his name. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my cousin, I just told my cousin about it, like, I'm going to say maybe like last month or whatever, right? And then a week later, my cousin sent me a message and said that he passed away, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't know what to say to my cousin because he doesn't handle that very well. And I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't have no comforting words to say to him about, him, the
Mm-hmm.
guy who did that to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't say nothing. I didn't even respond. I don't I felt bad because I didn't feel like um a certain way about him passing away, and I actually just before this, because I was having a hard time because I didn't even know it was like on my mind. Before this, I called my cousin to just get clarification, and he told me to just say how you feel. That's what you have that platform for, this, to say how you feel. But yeah, I felt bad because I thought that some of his people may be watching this, and
Right.
I didn't want to put a bad name, on him
Mm-hmm.
because he passed away or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was telling my cousin, I say, I felt like, because they, back in the day, what you would call, like, they called him a retard or something.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like saying their name. So in my mind, I felt like um he didn't know no better. So when I just called my cousin just earlier, I told him, I say, I don't think he knew any better, and that's what I was thinking for the
Mm-hmm.
longest. So that's why I put it off on me and say it was my fault. and my cousin saying, "Oh, he knew better," And then as I was having a conversation with him, I say, "You know what? He did know better because I remember now, you know, he would tell me what to do because I was a kid. I didn't know what to do. I
Mhm.
didn't know, this and that and for the longest I really felt like it was my fault. Like I could have said no. I didn't have to I didn't have to do whatever for whatever and it made me feel ashamed for the longest because like I said, when I learned out what a prostitute was, I felt like that's who I was.
Right. Well, so every time you wanted to borrow some money or money for anything, he will tell you, well, you have to do it's like doing a favor.
Yeah,
But you did.
basically.
But the thing is that you couldn't be considered, in my eyes, you wasn't considered a prostitute because you was an innocent child. You didn't know any better. This is somebody that you look to protect you, to have your back, and not cause you any pain or harm. It hurts me that he took this advantage of you like this, but at the same time, I know at times we say we don't want to say their name, but at the same time, why should we protect their name when they didn't even protect us? It just comes to a point to where it's time to step forward and not allow them to control us to keep us in that fear any longer.
This is
It's
true.
time, and this is time to say, you hurt me. I'm angry about it, but I forgive you.
Well, I've already forgiven him actually. Like when I started writing, and I took this one class at my church called PTO.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't know it's called peeling the onion. So it's
Right,
peeling the layers of your life back.
right,
So when I started that class, I didn't know. I feel like God leads me to different places, right? So
right,
I didn't know what that part was. So I was really like, I thought I was just taking that class for no reason, basically. But I learned later it did help me to forgive him, and I wrote about that in my book too, about like forgiveness too. And I realized, forgiveness is not for him, it's for me.
right.
So I did get a chance to do that, but I just want to address it because it's like I was just telling my husband that, right? I was just like, people, I don't know if that's in our community, in the black community, but when
Hmm.
I was telling my husband that, he says that's not just in the black community, that's in all communities. I
Yeah,
don't like it how we just downplay it and call it sick. I feel
yeah.
like it should be called a different word, and it is called a different word. But
Mhm,
in our community, we hide it and we shush it, and then we want to say, "Don't let such and such, don't let your kids go around that person." But
mhm.
something should happen to that person. Like
Yeah,
you should not have that person around and to subject some other little girl to go through the same thing.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
not fair at all. So we have to talk about it. We have to address it, and we have to fix it.
Yeah,
It's
'cause my
not
thing is by doing that, why are we protecting this person that committed a crime?
right.
It's like we still being punished for what they done to us because that person is still out there, and it's just like, what if you run across them? It puts that fear back in you. You know, my thing is that I wouldn't want this to happen to anybody else. And this is why I say, yeah, bring his name out. What is there to be ashamed of? This
Mm,
person hurts you. He needs to be held accountable. Yes, I know you say the passing of him, but at the same time, this is part of your healing. And I know
yeah.
one of your healings was in, your writing, just like it was with me. And can you tell us a little bit about that healing that was just
Um.
published?
So yeah, I wrote about the book. Here, this is my book right here, Healing Souls. Yes. So I feel like I said, God put me on a journey, and I never would have thought that I would be an author. Like I just let God lead me, and God
Mhm.
led me, and everything in this book it just came from God. Every poem, He told me it, and I wrote about it, and I did because even it took me a while. Like this book was supposed to come out, I think like last year on my birthday, and
Right.
it took me a while to actually sit down and read it. So then one day I got the thought, God said, go to a motel for a weekend, shut your phone off. And I prayed, and I did that, and I prayed, and people didn't understand it or whatever. My husband was mad at me,
Mhm.
but I had to do it, and I have to do what God tells me to do. So
Right.
it's like I'm not gonna feel right in my spirit if I don't. And I just went, and because I didn't know where to start or anything. I didn't know how to do it, and God just I prayed about it, and He told me the direction of it, and that weekend I wrote that book like I was supposed to, and it took all this time like to find the time to write it, but just in that one weekend I was just like, wow, it happened. And it's like all the glory belongs to God. This book is
Amen.
for God.
Okay. Now, after enduring or during the abuse, what sort of effects did it have on your life?
I have trust issues. I honestly, I have trust issues. I have intimacy issues. It's not hard for me to love. Um, it's it's I, at times I do, I guess, go get depressed,
Mm-hmm.
but then I have to like remind myself that's how I get out of depression is like there's always somebody going through something worse than you, and I always tell myself that. And uh it's a lot. Like I've been addicted, and people say, I mean, I guess back in the day I've been addicted to weed. Like people, it's funny now, but
Yeah.
that was a thing for me because I had just had my kids, and I would
Right.
look at them like they little innocent faces just looking at me being high, and that would do something to me. So I was like, you know what, God, I need to change my life. And at
Right.
that moment, that's when I got baptized. But of course, I backslid a couple of times or whatever.
Mhm.
But I just found like whenever my journey with God and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm happy. I'm at
Right.
peace,
Right.
and I love being at peace. There's nothing like peace. Um,
Amen. Amen.
yeah.
Now, did you have anyone that you could have turned to for help or advice?
You know, I don't I mean, I had an auntie. She was
Mhm.
like I felt like she was my best friend.
Right.
But of course, when you are young and naive and you
Mhm.
didn't know how to love or was taught love or you don't even know if you're loved, I
Right.
feel like she was the only person in the world that loved me besides my cousin, right? And
Right.
and my daddy, of course.
Mhm.
But like that real love, I felt like was my auntie was the only person that did that. So I didn't know how to show love back. So I got the label of aggravation. I used to aggravate people, right? That was
Mhm.
one of the labels that was put on me, right? And
Right.
and it was only like I say because I guess I was searching for love,
Right.
maybe, you
Mhm.
know. But she would have been the only person, and it was a couple of times that I wrote letters to her, about my mama,
Mhm.
and she went to my mama and said something about it, and
Mhm.
I, denied it, because I wasn't ready to talk about it, and I just
Right.
felt like the labels that people play that my family, I'm going to say my family, the labels that they placed on me, it
Mhm.
made it hard for me to try to go to and talk to anybody,
Right.
because I felt like I don't know what the backlash would have been.
Right. Right. Did you feel that, if you did say anything, that they wouldn't believe you?
There was one time actually, how the after school program come on, and
Mhm.
we was sitting down watching it, and I said something while I was with my sisters. So
Mhm.
one of my sisters was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go tell," and I said, "Don't," but she did anyway, right? So they they I guess confronted me, and I
Mhm.
had denied it, or I said okay. I don't know if I denied it, and I don't even know. But either way, nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
just like it didn't make sense for it to even come out because, like I say, we we live in a generation, like generation after generation, it keep happening. It's
Right.
like my grandfather molested his kids, right?
Mm.
And so, like I say, the only thing they would say is, "Oh, he's sick." You know what I'm saying? Like sick to me, sick is ill. You know, but when I was just telling my husband that, and I look up the definition of sick, that is the first thing that comes up. Instead of it saying ill, the first thing that comes up is say mentally ill or something like that, or emotionally ill. And I was like, I wouldn't have never thought that, you know. So it's just like people just, I feel like they downplay it. They don't, if they would give people exactly what they deserve, because you know, for you to prey on an innocent child, that's more than sick. Call it what it is, you know.
Exactly.
And it's a sad situation, basically.
Yes, it is. It is. Okay. Did you ever receive any type of counseling or, you know, any type of, you know, help to overcome this? Because we know your book became one of your safe haven place and where you could get your strength from because you was pouring all your pain in it. But outside of that, did you ever receive any form of counseling?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. We're going to go to a small interlude. And everyone, this here is Light by Symbolic Soul.
I decided to invest in myself for a change. I'm worth dollars, no cents. But for the life of me, I just can't understand why I sugarcoat some things and devalue who I really am. My heart is fragile, so I try to protect it at all costs. Throughout my years on this earth, I've experienced so many losses. Battling with these demons, they often try to control me like a manipulated boss. But I pray for discernment to kick in before I allow my demons to win. Friends tried to warn me about this downward spiral that I was headed in. My head is as hard as a brick, so naturally, I didn't listen to them. My perspective always seems to be right, but when God entered my life, I was forced to rearrange my stinking thinking. Ranking myself low on the totem pole and believing that I wasn't worthy to be loved left me emotionally distraught. The wounded child inside of me was longing to be healed and set free. I wasn't given the right tools, so instant gratification became a norm for me. Lacking empathy and compassion became all too easy. I wasn't given what I needed. Other options appeared, so I chose to run to those instead. Comfort was never a friend for me. I ran from the obvious and decided that I was strong enough to supply my own needs. After doing whatever it takes to push everyone away, all the love I had for myself began to fade away. Running away from myself, I developed unhealthy coping mechanisms. All my isms and schisms always seem to catch up with me. I guess my feet just can't move fast enough. Or is it my life was created to endure all the pain in order to be a witness for a lost woman or man? Someone please give me the answer, because I just don't understand.
I finally see the light. 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 I finally see the light.
Wow, wow. I was feeling that. That's deep. That's deep. And I mean, you could feel the heart in that message. Can you please tell us a little bit more in depth about this one here?
Um, well, so is I wrote this one, right? Like, man, I feel like God, like I said, He sent me to these different places, and He sends these different people my way. So I started like going perform at nightclubs and stuff,
Okay.
right? And so I was like helping people and everything. But um my marriage was suffering, right? So
Mhm.
my husband was feeling a certain way about it, and I guess that led to us like separating or
Right,
whatever.
right,
And at first I was just like, you know what, God, I don't understand, because I'm like, you had me to do all of these things, and I honestly felt like I wrote the message, but I didn't take the time to apply it to myself, right?
right.
I'm listening, I'm saying these words, but I'm not even using these words that's coming from me, so
Mhm.
I wrote that one like to say, you know what, I I understand basically.
Right, right. I appreciate that. Appreciate you sharing that. Hello, Terrence Spellman. Thank you for tuning in. Also, we have Miss Nikita McClure says, proud of both of you ladies. Thank you. Thank you. She also says that song is dope. Uh, she says you also write good hooks. Okay, she putting you out on the front line now. Hey, okay, I know where to look at now.
Don't do that, Nikita.
100. And he said, yes, indeed. Asia Hempfield, grandson loves this song. He was just dancing to it. That's cute. That's cute. Walter Haywood says, amen. Amen. Nikita said, this hurts me so much. She also said, yes, he took advantage. Make them be accountable for what they do and how they hurt us. I'm very proud of you, Asia Chantel Ward. She just put your full government name out there.
Right,
And
Nikita, how
Asia
you gonna do
Hemphill
that?
also says, love you, mom. And you got a lot of supporters out here. Terrence says, nothing like peace. And he says, take care, ladies. Thank you so much, Mr. Spellman. Okay. Um, can you like what was you referring to in this piece when you said battling with demons?
um that's just like I said, I feel like when you trying to walk in
Mhm.
purpose, or trying to walk a straight, trying to live righteously, the
Right.
devil is always trying to put these different thoughts in your head, like basically telling you you're not good enough, or you're not gonna make this, you can't make that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's just like, and then most of the time it's even just people that's around you that's envious of you, and just all of those different things. It's like it sends you to like a different kind of place. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And
Mhm.
then before long, you just have all of those different thoughts going in your head. Cause like I said,
Right.
it's been a while since I've smoked weed, right?
Right.
So it's just like when you battling with all those different demons and stuff in your head, it's like they make you want to go and try to just like you know, do anything to ease the pain, basically.
Right, right. Now, in this, you mentioned about pushing people away. Why was you, in your mind, as you look now, actually pushing them away?
Um, um, I guess basically feeling like I wasn't worthy to be loved.
Okay.
Um, if somebody loved me, like, why do you love me? You don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I felt like when I was younger,
Mm,
uh, I used to I pretended because I'm like, who's gonna love the real me? Who's
right.
gonna love me with my flaws and all? Who's gonna like, I mean, I could probably do some damage to people because
Right.
when I was younger, basically, I had that mindset. When it comes to a guy, I'm gonna
Mm,
do it to you before you do it to me.
yeah.
Basically,
You had your guard
so
up. You more or less had that wall built to where you weren't going to let anybody hurt you like you was hurt before.
right.
And I mean, I know that feeling too because, like I stressed before, I was single for 10 years and I didn't want to be with another man because, I felt like all they was going to do is hurt me, that they couldn't see who I was in heart and appreciate who I was. So why should I let them in?
Hmm.
So, it's just like, you know, you have to be careful because it's like once you've been scarred, it's like that's when you start laying the bricks and you're just like, get away from me, get away from me.
But see,
Now,
I
what
would let him in, but I had to control the situation. Basically,
right.
I had to be the one to say, this is going to go like this and this is going to go like that. And then, that made me feel like I was in control of the situation.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. What did you mean that you were starting to fade away?
Like I say, what everything that happened and just all these different labels that is placed on you, then there was times where I was just like, you know what, I don't know why I'm here. I question, like, why did God put me on this earth? And it was many times that I wanted to commit suicide. And in those times, the devil would be trying to play with my head, say, you're nothing, you're not worthless, you selfish, all of those labels that was put on me as a kid.
Mhm.
It was like they come back,
Right.
even from the abuse or whatever. It's just like I try to get that out of my head, then I might go to sleep and have a dream about it. So yeah, I'll say his name was Timothy.
Okay.
Later on in life is amazing because I wound up marrying somebody named Timothy, right?
Wow.
So that's even harder to escape what
Mm,
happened to me.
right. Because at times we can't control who we fall in love with, no
Yeah.
matter what the name is. But I
Yeah.
mean, how did that actually feel to say the name finally?
Um Freeing, like free,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Just to say the name because that person had you so imprisoned to where you was feeling sympathy to where you didn't want to expose his name.
Right.
But now you're seeing like he and this person needs to take responsibility for what they did, even though he's not here.
Mm.
So saying his name, it's just like it
Mm.
makes you feel just relief. What was the master key that helped you to survive and walk towards healing from the abuse to where you are now before you became symbolic soul?
Well, so I had this friend actually, right? And you know, I I I feel like I am a good friend. I'm a ride or die friend. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I am. And, I'm there for freaking anniversaries, weddings, births, you name it, I'm there.
Okay.
But, you know, sometimes when I look around, those friends ain't there for me, you
Mm,
know? And it's like, um, it takes a toll on you sometimes, but then it's
right.
like they be feeling like maybe you just that strong where you don't need them as much as they need you or whatever, right? I don't know, whatever the case is. And so I fell out with this friend. So when I looked at it, I said, you know what, God, I prayed for a friend, you know, and then you brought her. So what's the reason why now you taking this friend away? And I'm a loyal friend at the same time, you know. So then I had to do some soul searching and find out inside of me, you know. I prayed to God, I asked, and I was just like, you know, you brought me this friend, and what's the reason why now this is happening? And then I prayed for godly friends. That was the thing, what I was supposed to do. So then when I prayed for godly friends, it was easy for me to walk away from that friendship. And once I walked away from that friendship, I was able, honestly, I can say, to become symbolic soul, because that friend just held me back. She knew the potential that I had, and all she wanted to do was keep me to herself and to keep me, like, control me, basically, like to just have me to just be for her, just be her only friend. And she would get mad every time I got other friends or, you know, started hanging out with somebody else.
Okay. Now, tell us, who is symbolic soul?
Who? Symbolic soul. I wasn't expecting that question.
That's what
Oh man, let me tell you, symbolic soul. She walks by faith. She holds her head up high. Oh, most definitely, she fly. I sound like a poem right now. I'm not trying to do that, I promise. But oh my, she's confident. She's like, you know, you can't shut her up. She got something to say, and she gonna say it. And she knows that there's a lot of people that's suffering in this world, and she got something to say, and she wants to say it to help them heal.
Right.
And that's who she is.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad. Caught you off guard.
You did, but I was ready.
You was on your toes now. You're learning me. Okay, now after the crosses, was it difficult to allow anyone into your heart to actually love you for all you deserve? Because you're a Mrs. now and not a Ms.
Yeah, I guess. Well, you know, I'm on my second marriage now. So my first one didn't go so good. I believe he loved me, you know, but I just, I really feel like it was me. It was me that didn't know how to be loved, didn't know how to show love back, didn't even want to take the time to do it. Right. Now, when it came to a point where I thought that I was gonna lose him, I tried, but he was already done. So I was just like, okay, well, it is what it is. But then you know how you still have that regret or whatever. So you try to fight for it. But it happened the way that it happened. So now my husband now, trust me, I'm no walk in the park. I just have to say that. So, man,
I looked at you and I'm like, oh, she's so sweet. And I'm looking at you as a shy person. Well, now you tell it on yourself.
Well, yeah. So you know, like I was saying, like I mean, yeah, like I said, when before my husband came along, I was like, it takes a strong man. So it takes a strong man to be able to deal with me, because I'm a handful. But I'm sweet at the same time. I'm a Scorpio, so it's like, you know, that's what it is. You know, you get it. I don't know, you get what
a lot of people, they do. You know, I'm not the one that's big about zodiac signs, but a lot of people do get Scorpios misconstrued. You know, we are good-hearted people. We are very protective and we love hard, but it's like we will take so much to where we're not going to take it no more. So, it's like, now that I know you're a Scorpio, I can relate a little bit better. It's our season next month, girlfriend.
It's our season. That's what it is. I
Yes, it
celebrate
is.
my birthday the whole November. I'm telling y'all, like
That'd be
November
nice.
1st
What
is
would be
on.
nice if we could do a Scorpio, because I know like Zetra, I'm not for sure for Lovely. I think Lovely
Yeah,
also.
lovely is
Me,
also she's a
you are
Scorpio.
Scorpios to where we could have that poetic, live Scorpio season thing. I'm just saying, we can throw it out there.
Hey, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. It's all about
Now,
Scorpio.
I don't spit for mine like y'all do. I will have my book right there because I write from a private place, more like a peaceful place, because that's where I started, putting all my pain and my fear into. And so, it's like, okay, I know if I say it over and over, I know I can get it like Nikita. But I mean, I seen y'all at the event. What was that? Earlier this month. And y'all was fire. I'm telling you, that's the first time I seen you live. Girl,
Mm,
you did your thing. You and Nikita and also Priscina. Y'all
yeah.
got that. Y'all got that. I'm proud. I was proud of y'all.
Poets
So
on the
yeah,
move.
oh yeah. So yeah, but now we're gonna go to a small interlude before we go further on. And everyone, I give you symbolic soul in a daughter's love.
You started off as the apple of my eyes, looking like pure perfection through my young eyes. You could tell no lies. Plus, I placed you high on a pedestal. In my mind, you made me feel like I was so special. All your imperfections were acceptable. You taught me some valuable lessons, and I would never forget them. Waiting at the front door and so anxious for you to walk in. I waited and waited, only to be disappointed again. My conscious soul always searched and longed for the truth. Whenever I didn't hear your footsteps, I just knew that someone was going to tell me a lie or two. Although I was labeled crazy and people thought I really didn't have a clue, I reviewed the world through my double vision lenses and hoped for a breakthrough. The world judged me, but you saw me for me. I was your favorite girl, and you made me feel like no young man could ever give me what I need. That was really cool, and I really appreciated that about you. But unconsciously, your love for me fed your wife's insecurities. Suddenly, I was left with scars that would eventually take years to heal, a hard pill to swallow, so my soul became hollow, a foolish child running around wild, questioning my existence and wishing for a miracle. Spiritual beings somehow found their way to me and tried to plant seeds, but me, being young and naive, kept me trapped in a web of deceit, no longer determined to accept nothing but the truth. In search for answers, I ran across these letters, written on that yellow notebook paper. Line for line, each word penetrated my mind. Intrigued by my actions, I continued to read. All of a sudden, I realized that you might not ever come back for me. I remember thinking, I knew she was lying to me. She told me that you were working, but my curiosity confirmed something different. Each word cut me real deep. Why did they have to take my daddy from me? To my mama, you was every cuss word in the book. But to me, you was a young girl's dream. You would do anything to supply my wants and needs. Birthdays, family functions, and special holidays would never be the same. They took my daddy from me, and I will probably never see him again. Asking myself, did I do something to make him leave? Perplexed by this idea, I began to do some investigating. I looked under the bathroom sink and discovered a little brown bag of something. I explored each color sack, which all consisted of a white residue. Man, I guess I finally got my breakthrough. Fear and anxiety kicks in as I present this unfamiliar substance to my mother. She tells me it's nothing, so I just go back outside and continue running.
Beautiful, beautiful. Listening to this, it reminds me of my very own daughter. And I know I shared a little bit with you earlier, but I actually started crying because as a mother, it's hard to see your children go through something they're yearning for so badly. And, speaking, when it comes down to my daughter, it was like, you know, she wanted her dad. All she seen was her dad. When this young lady was born, she was his rosebud, you know, his everything. But since I divorced him, he his response was like he was divorced from the children as well. So, it's hard being a single mother and being left hanging, raising the children by yourself without you know, acting cordial for the behalf of the children, you know, and it hurt my heart because, you know, when he got with somebody else, he took her children and poured his life into showing them love and investing his life into them. And, I could never understand, how could you do this? You know, the children I had by him, which I am the only one to have children by him, they are his blood. That's somebody else's, that's some other man's child. These are your children, but he turned from them, even to strike at them when she was just wanting her dad's love. And, she said one day, she got older after she had her first child because my daughter did have her first one at 16 years old. And she cried and she says, I feel like if he was here for me the way he's supposed to be, and as a real man, a lot of things that I've done in life, a lot of decisions I made, I wouldn't have done. And that hit me really hard. I focused on me as a mother in my children's life. I didn't focus on him. I didn't focus on finding ways to destroy him. It was about my position. I never kept them from their dad. I always allowed them to see their dad because their relationship with their dad was separate from what me and him had. But what hurt me more than anything was a year ago. Now, she didn't have her second child. And we would sit in the car and she stumbled across a picture of him on Facebook. And, like I said, this is my show. If a person got a problem with it, you know how to contact me. But his name is Sean. And when she came across his picture with this other man's daughter, she broke down and cried and she was shaking. And I asked her, I says, what are you feeling right now? And she said, Mommy, I don't understand why he don't want me. Now, this is his blood. Because even as a lot of y'all that have been following me for years, I lost my second son in 2015. This was his blood. I had 3 kids by him. 2 of them passed away. You have 1 left. And all I asked of you was to be there for her. To be there for your blood. He wouldn't even help. He refused to help, even with funeral costs of our son. So it's like she always wanted that daddy's love and she doesn't get it. And as a mother, it hurts. It's hard. What do you say? I can tell them, look, you got me. I'm here. I haven't left you. But at the same time, I let them know your real father is a father that created you. That's the one that you got to impress. You leave the other one in God's hand to handle, and you just pray for him, but forgive him. It's hard as a mother to see your children like that, especially when he promised never to leave you hanging alone to raise the children. I raised my children by myself, and it was not a play date in the park. It was hard, but I did what I had to do. But I stayed on my knees and I said, Lord, if not for me, for them. Now, could you please share with us on this, on what inspired you to come up with this particular song and the story behind it?
So I wrote that one because Like I said, I always, always loved my dad. And when it came to that love that I was telling you about,
Yes.
and I felt like he loved me equally too.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have been one of the people too that I felt like did love me.
Mm-hmm.
And and he would do anything for me, you know. So when I wrote that, I just sat down and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna write about this
Mm-hmm.
because even I I honestly felt like, you know, I would have, I mean, let's say when I was a kid, and even as I grew up too, I might see a woman in their relationship with their mama, and
Mm-hmm.
they like best friend or something like that, you know. So I would just watch that and be kind of like jealous or envious of it because I don't have that, and I
Right.
never did. I never ever felt close to my mama. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I wrote that, I was just like at a place, and I just wanted to, you know, I had told my mama I forgive her too, because that was a part of my journey as and that God took me on too at the same time. Actually, that was kind of like in the beginning of it, and that's how it had to start. It have to start with forgiveness in order to be able to move on and go further. So I
Exactly.
had to forgive her. So that peace kind of came like after that, but it was just like I also had to see who my daddy was at the same time, you know, because
Right.
when as a young kid, he was the apple of my eyes and he would do anything for me. And all I could see, I'm a young innocent child, and my mama was envious of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my daddy, you know, I was his favorite person. I was his favorite child. So he did anything for me. And I got just like, I guess, you know, abused, mentally abused, but that was who my mama was. But either way, I got it worse because of the love that my daddy had for me. And I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't understand that. And
Right.
so why I ended it with just running, because that's how my life gonna turn out. Well, I'm finna run in fear. I'm finna run from everything because that's what happened. So it's basically, yes, it's my story, you know. So that's where the whole piece came from, and that's how I ended it from running, because basically, yeah, it I feel like love is supposed to start at home. You know,
Right.
your home is supposed to be your safe place. Your
Right.
parents is supposed to be the one to show you that love that you need, so you could go out in the world and just live your life and give it back and give love back, and be able
Exactly.
to accept love back. And when you don't have that, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna run. You're gonna run from
Mm-hmm.
everything and anyone, and you're gonna be so fearful of everything. And that's how the piece came about, because it was just like I once again coming to the conclusion in my self-evaluation that I understand. I
Right.
understand the past and what happened to my life, and basically saying I'm not ashamed of it no more. I'm not gonna let it hold me back. I'm not gonna be fearful no more. I understand that I ran, but I ain't
Mm.
trying to run no more. Basically.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this. What message from this are you hoping to get across to your listeners about a daughter's love?
Um, so the message basically is just like, hmm, understand that basically you are enough. Look at yourself, like I said earlier, just look at yourself through God's eyes. Don't listen to what everybody else says about you. I was that person. I feel like I was that person to be like, somebody would say, hey, don't go on that road. But me, like I said, I was hard headed. So I'm like, you know what? Just because that happened to you on that road, don't mean it's gonna happen to me on that road, right? Now, I already had the message, and I knew that the same thing could happen to me, but I was like hard headed and just like did my own thing. I was, when it came to rules, I feel like I ain't really follow rules. I made the rules. I bent the rules for myself. So basically, I just was like, just did my own thing. But if you have a message and somebody's telling you don't do something, don't do it. You know, it is, if it wind up like that for them, it's probably gonna happen like that for you. So don't try to think that you can do something different and it's gonna turn out different or whatever. So basically just live your life and listen to what God says. Just let God guide you, basically. You can solve a lot of, you can just get away from a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, just following God, basically.
I thank you for that. And I mean, like I said, I listened to your songs and it did touch me. It, gave me an insight on a lot of things as well. You know, if I could do it all over again, I would do it all over again. Especially being here for my daughter and, her searching, because I mean, that's what I sit back, and look at that. She's searching for love. She's searching for that empty space that she used to have with her dad that is missing. It's hurtful, and I looked at some of these, young mothers that do get pregnant and their father's there for them. And I know when she got pregnant at 16, he stated, well, I don't consent to teenage pregnancy. Well, I don't either. But you don't disown your child. You don't turn from your child. He refused to see any picture of her. He didn't want to talk to her, nothing. She didn't deserve that. So, all we could do is just pray. I really thank you for you coming open and sharing having your broken silence for the first time here on my show. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give you the window. And they heard you through the recording. But now we want to hear you live. You have a piece that you wanted to share with us. Everyone, Symbolic Soul.
Yeah, so I wrote this piece, for October domestic violence. Actually, when I was going through my COVID phase, I was like, God, I was asking why God, why, like, why? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Like, I never would have thought that I would get, the coronavirus, right? And so just being in that room by myself, I was just like, how am I going to get through this? I mean, it was times like, I mean, still now I still have the symptoms, that I'm going through it. Although I tested negative now, I don't have it anymore, but you still go through the symptoms. So I was just like, God, like, how am I going to get through this? And then if I, just what can I do? Like, even to get a message out of this. So God gave me this poem right here and it just came from nowhere. So I was just like, you know what? October is Domestic Violence Month. So I'm going to say it. So here it is. This is called Hell or High Water. Here it goes. Projected all your anger on me. Issue after issue, I was right by your side. But this you failed to see. Pain too much to bear. Hidden secrets you decided to bury, not realizing the turmoil it caused. When you suppress, instead of getting it off your chest, you subject unwarranted pain on someone else. Those in arm's reach are typically the ones who don't deserve it, walking on eggshells and pretending to be perfect. I can't take no more of this abuse. This is something I just can't get used to. My heart hurts while I ride on waves of disappointment, feeling unsteady as years of insecurities keep me stagnant. The promise of love has faded into the distance. I stay because vows was made, but these days our love languages can't seem to communicate. Afraid of the unknown, so I convince myself that it's all my fault. If I could just do a little more, treat him like a king, and have his food cooked when he walks through the door, then just maybe I wouldn't find unidentified numbers in his phone. Feeling like that's something I'm lacking leads to our personalities constantly clashing. Hours and hours of tongue lashings leads me to feeling unloved and abandoned. Raise hands, have me questioning who I really am. staring at the mirror at a different bruise every other day. But he confessed his love and apologized, so I forgave, reliving past toxic relationships that I once witnessed. How did I find myself in this position? Lost my self-worth and accept all the pain he continues to administer? Lying and cheating eventually becomes his chores. Now I'm left at home wondering if I am still who he adores. My woman intuition knows the truth. Call up my best friend so I can vent. Like always, she gives me her undivided attention, then tells me to give him the boot. But that is something I just can't do. She can't comprehend how much love I have for this man. Come hell or high water, I'm determined to be his woman. Thank you.
I'm back here stuffing my face while I'm listening to you. And I know you had your expression, but I know my girl Lovely Vibes on here, and we always teach each other. So I'm just going to show her little crab leg. So hi, Lovely, bring it on. But thank you so much for that. What I'm going to do now is that was dope. I mean, really, really dope. What we're going to do now, I'm going to give you this window because I feel like it's a little bit more that you need to get out.
I guess. I don't know.
And what I'm saying is that talk to someone that's out there and could be going through the same thing that you went through. I need for you to talk to them and tell them how they could get through this. And after you do that, tell everyone how they could find you, where they could follow you, and how they could purchase your book.
I just want to say, it's not your fault. You're young, you're innocent, someone take advantage of you. Like I say, for the longest, I battled with that in my mind that it was my fault. I wondered what I could have done differently, how I could change it. I felt ashamed. I felt ashamed because I was just like, did I know better? Did I like it? I gotta honestly say, did I like it? Did I keep doing it? Because I really felt a certain way about it. And then as life went on, I tried to suppress all of those different issues and just tried not to think about it or whatever, but it only makes things worse. And I just want to tell you, it's not your fault. Tell somebody, talk to somebody. You see the number on the screen just going by. Just call that number, talk to somebody. Don't keep it in. It's not your fault. And if somebody did that to you, they should be held accountable for it. We have to stop as a community. I know I said before it probably was the Black community. I don't know what it is, but we have to stop making it seem like it's and calling it sick. Call it what it is. What it is it's a pedophile. They're molesting you. It's sexual abuse. It's everything but sick. Don't use that word sick, because that's downplaying it. And families should also not make it hard for a kid to have to come and tell you about it and want to keep it on the hush because they're ashamed of what other family members gonna think about their relative or their husband or their it's sad and it has to stop. And the reason I'm speaking on it because it has to stop somewhere. We can't let this go on for another generation. We can't let this go on. And then the person who done it, they need to be held accountable. And it ain't just keep it in the family. Like that, what goes on in my house stays in my house. That needs to change. We can't keep saying that. You have to talk about it. We have to make it known. And that's how we can make it happen. So okay, so guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at symbolic soul or at symbolic_soul. And then on Facebook, on my government name, it's Aisha Chantel Ward. And then on Instagram, under my symbolic soul name, is Symbolic Soul 77. And then on Facebook, it's Symbolic Soul 77 too. And then on LinkedIn, it's Symbolic Soul 77. Symbolic Soul, I'm sorry. And then if you want to go to my website to purchase my book, to pre-order it, it's going to be symbolicsoul77.com. You could pre-order it. I'm having the book launch, and it's going to be November 7th. If you want to come, just RSVP me. There's special gifts that I'm going to be giving away. So you still have time to pre-order it and get the special gifts. It's going to be a whole vibe. I mean, it's all about healing. It's going to be fun, love. We got food. They're going to have food. We're going to have live performances. It's just all about love. I just want to make people feel loved and healed. You know, there's a lot of people hurting out there, and we have to learn to heal from it. And you can't heal if you stay silent. So please talk about it. Tell somebody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been such a joy to have you here today to share your story, just one-on-one. If I didn't get to y'all comments, please do forgive me. We was trying to go ahead and get everything in that we need to get in, but I'm gonna say thank all of y'all for tuning in. This has been very, very enlightening, nutritional food, and breaking our silence. Everyone, I thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget about the donation event. It ends on the 29th. The shelter just needing Pampers, bottles, bottle brush cleaners, and baby wipes. So you still have a chance to donate. The last day will be on the 29th. What's up?
Oh, I forgot to tell y'all too. I have another interview. It's going to be Monday with Jess B. Yes, that's gonna be. I have another interview on Monday, and then on the 31st, I got an interview with Drake Coop on The Good Spot. Yes.
Okay. Well, tag me, because he has a habit of not tagging me. Because I'll be at work, but I'll put my headphones on. I'll listen. You might not see me comment too much, but I go to break at 10, but it's over at 10:15. But I put my headphones on. So just make sure you tag me, okay?
Yeah, I will.
I don't want to miss that. I surely don't. But thank you so much, Symbolic. We love you. We thank you. And we also thank God for the strength and what you're representing for the other people in the world now that will see this. Shortly after the show, remember that this will be uploaded to my YouTube channel under Spicy Gray. Make sure you go on there, subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed the show. This is Spicy Gray. We'll see you next Thursday with our last domestic violence survivor for this month, Mr. Michael Gray will be in the broadcast, so don't y'all miss it. Just keep up with the postings. We'll have the invites. Thank y'all so much, and y'all have a blessed day. We are leading you out with Woman of Devotion.
She stood firm, feet pressed solid to ground, breaking bread till lost souls lurking all around, spreading God's word to visual deafening ear. Praises of her song rings from afar and near. Tambourine vibrates and dance as she joyfully shouts, leaving crowds clueless to what her jamboree was about. Faith with patience in me, she poured her entire life, maintaining on bended knee through each passing strife. Gifted hands carefully stitched clothing of one's masterpiece, piercing eyes focused sharply on each delicate line crease. Always awakening to aid my tearful call. Quickly screaming out in prayer, pleading, Lord, don't let her fall. The heart she instilled inside as one woman and devoted mother, unconditioned from her love, truly comparison is of no other. So as I slowly close my eyes to deeply inhale, counting to 7, Big Mama, remember my love for you always while you're dancing around in heaven.